According to Michael Wolff's new book, Jared Kushner was definitely not a fan of Steve Bannon. In fact, he despised Steve Bannon so much that he was one of the people that actually encouraged then Attorney General William Barr to indict Steve Bannon for what he did eventually get indicted for, and that was charitable fraud. Here's the excerpt from the book. That summer, Barr's Justice Department, with, according to some, the encouragement of the president's son-in-law, had indicted Bannon for skimming money from a not-for-profit company he had joined to raise money to actually build a border wall, not incidentally showing up Trump, whose own wall still lagged. For Kushner and various others in the West Wing, dedicated in their hatred of Bannon, this indictment was a kind of double insurance that the president, beyond even his ire toward Bannon, would never allow him back. What's with the Bannon hatred? I mean, look, I get it if you're not on the right. Sure, you despise Steve Bannon, despicable human being, right? What was Jared Kushner's beef with Steve Bannon? Now, I have said repeatedly, Steve Bannon, again, as much as I despise him, stand against everything he stands for, he's not an idiot. Okay, Steve Bannon actually knows what he's doing. He's a guy that has an agenda, and he has the means to accomplish these agendas. So is that what actually made Jared Kushner a little uneasy around him? That Bannon knew how things worked? That Bannon knew how to accomplish goals? And maybe could therefore expose Jared Kushner's own incompetence with his bizarre role in this White House? Now, to me, that seems like the most obvious answer. Of course, we don't exactly know, but that could easily be why Jared Kushner despised Steve Bannon so much, because Bannon knew what he was doing, Kushner didn't. Now, about that whole charitable fraud thing, let's talk about that for a moment, because as I mentioned, yes, Steve Bannon got indicted for that, and as we all know, earlier this year, Steve Bannon was pardoned for that. And as we all know, according to the United States Supreme Court, acceptance of a pardon is essentially admitting guilt for the crime. So Steve Bannon might be out of trouble for the We Build the Wall folks, but the other individuals who were indicted in that scam, not so much. Because if one of the co-conspirators, Bannon, accepted the pardon, again, Supreme Court says that's an admission of guilt. Oh, by the way, the admission of guilt can also potentially do away with any Fifth Amendment protections. That's actually what that Supreme Court case was all about. So Steve Bannon might have to basically give over all of the information that he has on his fellow We Build the Wall indictees, which could result in the rest of them all going to prison. But not Steve Bannon. He's still around. He's doing his podcast. He's talking to the MyPillow guy, Mike Lindell, like every week. So yeah, Bannon's doing just fine. Jared Kushner is effectively in hiding at this point. So I think when all is said and done, Bannon is the one who has the last laugh. One of today's video sponsors is PureVPN, and right now, PureVPN is offering a wonderful 14th anniversary special price of just $2.88 per month on a 2-year plan. If you're not using a VPN to search the web right now, you are not surfing the web as safely as you may think. And PureVPN offers one of the most secure VPN experiences out there. You can experience an all-new PureVPN with an all-new and easy-to-use app and much improved performance. Its fast and reliable VPN service now has more than 6,500 servers, which is the most any VPN in the market currently offers. It secures your connection on all of your devices with easy-to-use apps across all major platforms, and they now offer 10 multi-logins instead of just 5. And this is the only VPN in the market with an always-on third-party audit to verify the no logs claim. And it helps you stream all you want, including Disney+, the 7 different Netflix regions, Amazon Prime, BBC iPlayer UK, ITV UK, and many others. And it helps you purchase all kinds of online deals with lesser prices by connecting to certain regions. And it keeps you secure no matter where you are with public Wi-Fi protection. Just go to link.purevpn.com/theringofire and take advantage of the 14th anniversary special price of just $2.88 per month with a 2-year plan.